Yes, good morning. Welcome to semi-final day. It's not the first time we've had a semi-final this season, but it is the first European semi-final for 6 years. We've got James Flower here today to tell us how he would put the kids out tonight in the semi-final. Is that why you're here, James? Is that what's going on?
Could do. No difference to the first team, to be fair.
How you doing, buddy? You good?
Yeah, like personal life, I'm actually really, really good, to be honest. The last little stretch, I fly out on holiday for 2 weeks next Thursday. So I'm kind of that mad rush at work to sort of get everything ready to sort of go. You know, even like a haircut. Can't wait just to have a bloody haircut. But it's like, well, there's no point doing it now. You might as well wait till Wednesday, Tuesday to sort of.
Yeah. It's haircuts are a very important part of going away on holiday. And
Absolutely.
Listen, what's an important part of football is winning trophies. And James, we're not a million miles away. We are, what are we? 3 games away from winning a European trophy, and more importantly, getting back into Champions League football and actually having some funds for the summer. Every time I speak to someone, James, I always say it's just strange. It feels strange because the season's been so bad, but yet here we are, 3 games away from a European trophy. So, how do you categorize our season overall?
Well, I think the negatives have definitely outshone the positives. I think there's no way you can get away from that. But I mean, I think once tonight's over, and I personally think we're going to win quite comfortably tonight. So I think once tonight's over, I do think, and I put into our chat, I do think that this is the moment where we all need to say, you know what, the season's awful, Angie's awful. Let's go as a fan base and back the team more than anything else, and just get us over that line. Because I know that this season may not have been the greatest tournament to sort of win, and by that I mean like the greatest quality of teams. But at the same time, you've still got to go out there and beat them. I mean, we went out to a team that manager got arrested and they weren't even available. It was in prison, so we've still got to go there and win. And I think after tonight, if we can get a 2 or 3 goal cushion, you can almost afford to go abroad and play a flat back 7 and draw 0-0, and then you're in the final. And then, even though I don't think we'll be favourites in the final, it is a flip of a coin, isn't it? It's whoever turns up on the day. Yeah,
look, it's going to be an interesting one because what I love about this is if we get to the final, I'm not going to say when. I think we will, but I'm going to say if we get to the final, you either got Man United, inside out, right? You play every year, minimum of 2 times a year. They're as in the news as much as we are for how dreadful their season's been. New owners, new managers, new this, new that. Or you've got the big up Corey. Or if you don't have Man United, you've got Bilbao. And what's interesting about them is it's at their ground. So I think there's a really good storyline no matter who you get if you get to the final. At this stage, who do you prefer, James? At this stage, if I offered you United or Bilbao, bearing in mind, bear in mind, what was I trying to say? Anyway, bear in mind that Bilbao, they've got the best defense in La Liga. So they are very, very good at the back.
I'm fairly confident and comfortable with saying I just do not want Man United. I know they ain't the better team. Bilbao are definitely the better team. But for me, even in United's worst period, they still managed to win 2 FA Cup. Was it 2 FA Cups or 2 Cups?
One FA Cup, 1 League Cup,
yeah. So for me, they are definitely the team that would.
Even when they were crap under Solskjaer, they managed to win under Jose, they managed to win the Europa League and the League Cup. So they've got to have it.
And that for me is an Achilles heel to Tottenham, if you like. The one thing we haven't got is a habit of winning trophies. So the one thing I'd like to avoid is somebody that's got a habit of winning trophies. I know Bilbao got a good defence, but in fairness, scoring goals has never been a problem-ish this season. And Son will be back. So why are we worried?
The sun will be back. The sun will be back. Morning, Corey. How you doing, fella?
Yeah, rested up, feeling good. Sun's out.
Pollen's up. You playing tonight? What? You're in the 11, are you tonight?
Oh yeah, I've just got to travel, haven't I? Just get up to
Just
London.
got to get
Well, seeing as I got double
into
man
it.
of the match Monday night, man versus Fat, they could throw me in goal. I'd probably still do an all right job, I guess.
Are you better with your feet than Vicario? There's a question.
No, I'm an old-fashioned keeper. I just want to pump the thing up the
So,
pitch and get it away
so
from
is
me.
he. He is not good with his feet, but we won't talk about that right now because I know James loves him, so I won't go into that. Corey, look, I feel like a lot of people are. We're very hurt, right? As Spurs fans, we're all hurt. We're all scarred. It reminds me of the Will Young song, you know, where he says, "Once bitten, twice as shy," and I better leave right now. And look, I think that's what's stopping a lot of people saying, hang on, we should be winning this comfortably. Because even an old cynic like me that hates the manager, hates the owners, I think it's going to be comfortable tonight. And I think it bloody well should be, Corey. What are you expecting?
I want to say Bodo are no pushovers because they've had a harder running to get to this point in the tournament than what we've had.
Yeah.
They've had likes of beating Lazio's. They've beaten Porto. Is it Porto? 3-2.
I think it was Roma as well. Did they beat Roma as well?
I think they beat
That
Roma.
was the other year,
I mean,
yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, they've got a weird knack for knocking out stronger teams, and their league isn't exactly the strongest, is it? After watching Eric the Viking sort of like video on him, the video on that team the other day for them to get relegated and then basically do the Brighton model of buying in players and then selling them off, and then the players coming back to them for them not being too good out in Europe. You know, it's like I've got to sit here and just air of caution. They're not going to be a pushover, even if they're missing 6 players. They've done it to get to this now, but as a Tottenham fan, I'm thinking, yeah, let's go out and smash them 4-5-0. Even though I've been joking around saying Bodo 2-0 and chats and stuff like that, because I just don't think with this manager's tactics.
It all comes out. Now it's match day. Oh, all my predictions were jokes. I didn't mean anything I've said. I didn't mean it. Sorry, Ange. Sorry, Angie.
I was Ange out day one.
I know.
You got that wrestler Jey Uso. If I've been down since one day-ish, I've been out since day one-ish.
Yeah.
Before even ink dried on that contract, I was done.
With this team, though, am I right in saying? I mean, you'll pick me up if I'm wrong. They've had every game. Their first game's always been at home, and they've took a 1 or 2-0 lead and then gone away and just sat for a 0-0 draw or like defensively. Is this their first game away first?
Yeah, I was actually about to just bring this up on the screen. I'm just trying to find what I saw the other day. Yeah, most of their games, that's what tends to happen, James. They tend to get.
I think if we go there and slap a 3-0 in, 3 or 4-0,
yeah,
I think going away from home, they're going to have so much pressure. I mean, they're going to have their home fans, and fair enough, but I just think they're going to be in a position where they are almost down and out going into the second leg, and that could be a good thing. I mean, it's Tottenham Hotspur. It definitely might not be, but it could be.
Yeah, but then you have to take into consideration they actually play on their 3G pitch week in, week out, whereas
I'm not buying into any of that because Tottenham have an indoor 3G pitch where they play in every week anyway. So it's.
Yeah, I know, but it's a different climate as well out there. It's going to be 5 to 10 degrees above sea level. That business.
Last week was 10 degrees in the UK. I think there's a lot of excuse. I'm not saying you, mate. I'm not saying you, but I think it's very easy to get a lot of these excuses. It was the same when we played Tamworth. Yeah, but it's artificial pitch. I'm lucky enough to go to the stadium, the training ground, a fair bit with my boy, and they always play on artificial pitch. Their whole indoor climate is artificial, and they just turn the aircon on and make it freezing cold in there, so they could get used to that. It's not like this is. Like they're going into like the Antarctica and it's -12. Like they've got these conditions to play in their training ground, hence why it's the best in the world or one of the best in the world.
I mean, they took aspects from other teams, didn't they, with our training ground? We took things from Borussia Dortmund, sort of like weird control and touch into the goal net thing indoors, but all the sides, there's a difference between playing on grass and 3G. The bounce is different, the ball moves across the ground different, everything. Whereas we're very lucky in this league to have mostly every ground is grass, isn't it? So,
but it's not real. It's not real grass anyway, is it? It's half of it's fake anyway. And I would always argue, surely these elite footballers that are meant to be top tier are better on a quicker moving surface. No bumps, no bobbles. It's going to be like carpet. So surely this should benefit the so-called better players.
I reckon more than the pitch, I reckon it's the conditions. I think more than the pitch, I think it's a shock to the body. Listen, I'm not making excuses. I've said from day one, if we get Bodo Glimt, we're in that final. There can be no excuses. What I've seen a lot of people do, you know, all the kind of Anjin fans that guarantee trophies. They're the ones now going, oh yeah, but Bodo Glimt are tough. No. Hang on. I'm not getting to a European semi-final against Bodo Glimt and then getting knocked out. No. If that happens, that's embarrassing. But look, let's have a look, guys. So you can see on the screen, hopefully everyone can see that. This is the official Europa League website. So this was their 8 league games. Keep saying group. It's a league, isn't it? It's a league. This is their 8 league games. So they started off with a 3-2 win against Porto. And I actually watched that game because it was it was one of the 5:45 kickoffs. So I watched that game, and I remember Bodo going a man down as well, winning 3-2 against Porto. Then a draw against Union Saint-Gilloise. Then an away win against Braga. Then they had the home defeat to Karabag, who obviously we
carry a bag, as some people call it.
But then they did enough in their last 4 games. You look, they lost at United. And they're not the greatest team away, by the way. They're not the greatest team away, Bodo Glimt. I know they beat Braga, but other than that, try and find away wins. Look, if you're at Bodo drew, they beat Braga, who went down to 10 men.
Aren't Braga in the Portuguese league as well?
Huh?
Aren't Braga in the Portuguese league as well?
Braga in the Portuguese league as well?
Braga, the team where they beat them 2-1 away.
Yeah, Braga in the Portuguese league. Yeah.
So they've beaten two very good Portuguese teams there, whereas
they've beaten 2 good Portuguese teams. But so they lost away to United, then they got the 2 home wins, and then drew away at Nice. So far they had 1 away win. But listen, none of that really matters. This is what you were talking about, James, right? So this, I believe, was the only one where they played away first. So they beat 20. So they lost away to 22-1, then battered them 5-2 at home. So you can see such a big swing in games. Look at all of these big swings in games, right? So then you went Olympiacos, right? Beat them 3-0 at home convincingly, then lost 2-1 away. They did exactly the same thing to Lazio, 2-0 at home, 3-1 away. So there's very much a pattern here. So when people are saying to me, Paul, Bodo are good, not away, they're not. Bodo are not good away from home. Can we all see that from this? The only away win they've had was back in, where are we?
Braga.
So October. So they've not won away from home in Europe for 6-7 months. So when people are saying, oh, it's going to be a tough game, they're not good away. Home, we'll talk about that in a minute. But guys, reading those results, that should be a comfortable home win for Spurs tonight, right? Against this team.
I'm going 4-0, to be honest. I would love, my dream scenario is a 4-0 win and then going away and playing 5 at the back and stinking it out and getting a 0-0 draw. That for me would be that for me would show a lot of signs in Ange also committing to the tournament and saying, you know what, we've won our game, now we're going to sit back and do what we've got to do. And it would give me even more confidence going into the final to say, look, when we are up, we're going to drop a bit and actually go for the win rather than mess about.
Yeah, I mean, Corey, you're looking at those results. Braga aside, this is not a team that travels well. This is like, just funny enough, we were talking about this the other day when we were in Portugal. From when we were younger, I had a mate that could pull girls for fun in the UK. Every night we went out, he was pulling. Whenever we went on holiday, he couldn't do it. We always took the piss out of him.
He couldn't get that out of town strange then.
He was a home league goal scorer. Couldn't do it in the away games. But on a serious note, they're not a good away team, Corey. This should be a win. No excuses.
Patterns follow, don't they? I mean, it's repetitive with what they do. They seem to get slightly battered and score 1 or 2 goals away, and then try to use their home advantage all the different aspects of playing in Norway, like sea levels and how cold it is in Norway and stuff like that, to their advantage. I know it's weird saying like that, but effects of different atmospheres in different areas of the world have effects on people, don't they? So like you could travel to Norway, but like I know one of the stadiums in Norway is like right in a coastal part in a corner somewhere, you know, and it only holds about 5,000-6,000 people, but like around it's just the sea edging of everything, and to get to this stadium you have to go over across a bridge, which is a really crazy stadium to think about, you know, and like 5,000 fans on like this little rock.
You know, we were saying about the weather and
craziness.
conditions. We were saying about the weather and the conditions away from home. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 23 degrees where I am now, so you'd think it's going to be 20 degrees at 8 o'clock, maybe 19. Is that going to play into our hands? If they're used to freezing cold temperatures and not playing like, on our sort of conditions, do we think that that could almost play into our hands? And potentially that's why they could be losing away also, if they're used to certain climate, temperatures, things like that.
I think the occasion to get to them, you know, it's the size of the stadium, the pitches are bigger, hopefully the crowd make it an atmosphere for a battleground tonight, you know, for us to go out there and get the job done.
Just quickly, sorry guys. Thank you to the person who just WhatsApped me to let me know that I accidentally had members only chat function on this stream. I have just changed that. I'm so sorry if you're watching and you're not a member. I have no idea how that's happened. I've never actually ever done that before. I'm just double checking now to make sure that I've turned it off. So yeah, subscribers. Only subscribers can now comment. I'm so sorry. That is really, really shit of me. And thank you for the one person who's bothered to let me know. Thank you to that person. And also, while we're at it, Ben Kaufman, I did wonder why I wasn't seeing many. I was seeing comments from the usuals. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't seeing the amount of comments I normally
Matt,
get.
Reezy.
And happy birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday as well to Ben Kaufman.
And I think
Nigel. Well. Dan's birthday the day before. Dan lists was the other day, wasn't it? So happy birthday to all three in this week.
Hang on, we've already done Dan. I've done him live on screen.
Did you?
Yes. If it's Nigel's as well, whoever's birthday is, happy birthday. Hopefully this will be one of those occasions where Tottenham give you the birthday present that you want. Also, guys, look, they are missing. You know, this isn't a European squad, Bodo, littered with stars from all around the world. You know, this is very much. I'm looking at their squad now. This is very much a squad built from their local area. And a squad that can't lose their best players. And today, they do have 3 of their best players suspended, and they've got a further 3 injuries. Guys, it couldn't be set up nicer. This truly couldn't be set up nicer for Tottenham Hotspur, could it? Like, there's no excuses tonight. None. I don't care how round the ball is. I don't care how blue the sky is. There are no excuses.
If Bodo get a result against us, I expect this manager to get sacked. That's the only excuse I can think of now, is if we somehow, the footballing gods open up and go, oh, and say, right, Tottenham, you lose tonight. I want Ange sacked in the morning, but stars have aligned, the planets have aligned, everything's come into alignment here with this one, hasn't it? 6 of their first team are out, and they haven't really got the biggest squad either, Bodo, have they? I think they've got something like 20-ish players on their books.
Yeah, I've just looked at their squad. It's not big. It's not a big squad in any way, shape, or form.
So what you just said there, I think that's exactly one of the reasons why we won't win. Like, if the footballing gods, if the footballing gods answer our prayer and we lose and then Ange gets sacked, that is the most deluded and stupid opinion, in my opinion. If the footballing gods answer us and we lose, like, if you listen to what you just said, do you want us to go out? You want us to go out? I don't want us to go out,
but then, like, Ange the other week said the footballing gods aren't favouring us, or something along them terms, and I'm like, the footballing gods.
For me personally,
it happens, doesn't it?
I hate Ange with a passion. I think his tactics are naive. I think he's naive. I think he's so rude to the fact that, like, if he spoke to me like that, I'd be pulling him up, like, 100%. But the last 3 games, I want nothing but the best for him because it's going to make us win a cup if he can. So in that, I get what you're saying, but for me, all of that kind of needs to stop, and we need to put these 3 games ahead of everything, and then just see how we get on.
Yeah, but then I've got to look at it when people are saying the league doesn't matter when it's your bread and butter to get you into these competitions. If we fail to win this, we're 17th going into a semi-final. I want us to win. Don't get me wrong. I want us to win. I want us to lift the trophy because I've not seen one since 2008. I'm hungry just like every other Tottenham fan is. But then the part of me that puts myself into sort of thinking here, like, this guy always boasts I win something in my second season, statistically the worst manager Spurs have ever seen. Do you want to see a medal around the neck of the guy that's been statistically the worst Spurs manager? It would leave a bad taste. It would leave a bad taste.
I think the problem is, Corey, right? Look, bearing in mind, this is someone like you. You've been longer than me, but like you, I've been Ange out since November 2023, but I've been Tottenham Hotspur since birth, right?
Oh yeah,
and as we had the conversation yesterday, win the trophy, then mix it up. The problem, we talked about this at length yesterday. The problem we've got is, and again, this is where fans need to remove their emotion for the manager versus what the need of the football club moving forward is. And if we don't get European football this season, right? If we don't get it, our club is going to be in a financial state. Got to remember, by moving into this stadium, it was built upon the premise that we would have Champions League every year, right? It was built upon those sort of metrics. So to not have Champions League, I mean, this would be what, the 3rd or 4th year in a row that we've had no Champions League football, if I'm not wrong. And for the good of the club, look, for him as a manager, he has to win it to salvage it. Otherwise, he is going to go down as the worst manager Spurs have ever had, right? So for him, he needs to win it. For the fans, we need it because we need some feel-good factor badly. We need something. We need one day where we win that Europa League, and maybe just for one day, we can all stop making videos about each other. We can all stop having a go at each other, and we can all just go, hallelujah, praise the Lord, Tottenham have won a trophy. But more importantly, and I hate to be an accountant about it, we've got to. If you don't want to have to sell to buy, if you want to be able to attract players, right, we've got to get European football next year. So for me, this is why I hate it. You guys know what I'm talking about. I won't mention names. When I see these videos made about me that I've said, don't win it, it's not true. It's not don't win it. It's we have to win it, James. We simply have to win this tournament, or it has been a diabolical season.
Oh, absolutely. And this like what you just said there, I may have been an Ange out for 2 seasons or a season. I've been a Tottenham Hotspur fan since birth. My kids are Spurs fans, or one of them. The other one don't care. You just think for a moment, for me, I mean, I'll be away, so I'll be on holiday whilst the final's on. If we get there, I just sort of just imagine sitting there watching him on holiday.
Where, James?
Rhodes.
Mate, that would be an atmosphere and a half. That would be an atmosphere and a half watching a European final out in some open-air bar in Greece. I'm coming. Give me the hotel. I'm joining you, mate. I'm joining you.
Yeah.
I'll fly in for the night.
It's things like that on a personal reason. I would, that I can't ask for anything else. So regardless of what Ange has done, if he was to bring that for me, that moment, that day, I would be grateful. But I can separate the two things. I know that the whole season and everything he's done this season has been poor. So I'm very happy to say thank you so much. Unbelievable, Ange. Bye-bye. And with what you're saying about financially, you know what else I'd say is really important for? I would say it's really important for for the next coach to come in, because it's all well and good saying, look, 17th, no European football, no players coming in. The backroom staff are going to be torn apart. Do they keep Ryan Mason? Don't get me wrong. I think someone like Thomas Frank from Brentford would still consider coming to us. But you could then, if you're in the Champions League and you've got Champions League money, no disrespect to Thomas Frank, but you can also start going, I don't think this guy's going to happen, but Xavi or Alonso, you could say, look, we're in Champions League. We've got this money to spend. What do you want? I think that you may not get those big names, but at least they will be on the table, and you can then say, look, this is what we have to offer. And it's like, oh, that could be interesting. Whereas if you don't have that, you go to Xavi, do you want to come here? No Champions League, no Europa League, no money to spend. I think they'd be embarrassed even going up to their agents and asking. So I think it's massive financially, but it's massive for where the club are going to go next season, footballing wise. Who's going to be coach? Who's going to be taking over?
Agreed. Just before we move on, in honor of Ben's birthday, I think it's time to roll out this old classic. Love it. Love a bit of Family Guy. And by the way, I don't know how true this is, but so I've got a friend that sends me a lot of injury information about Spurs. And the guy he uses is normally, I can already see the smirk going across Corey. The guy he uses is normally spot on. Now, I don't know how true this is, but what I'm seeing is that take this with a pinch of salt because it's not 100% confirmed, but this person is hearing that Bergvall and Son are potentially out for the season. He says, hoping I'm wrong. This would be the first thing I've ever got wrong this year, and I'd lose all my credit, but I'm hoping it's some sort of mistake. So we'll come to that in a minute, but I don't know. By the way, I'm just saying, I'm just chucking that out there into the world. I don't know. It could just be a spin. It could be I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you what I hear.
Tactic.
I hear the same things that you guys do. But yeah, James, you're absolutely spot on. I think it's easier to go to a Xavi Hernandez and say, Xavi, we're in the Champions League. We've got young players like Bergvall for you to coach. We've got young wingers like Odegaard for you to coach. We're in the Champions League. Do you fancy it? Rather than, yeah, sorry, Xavi, we're having to sell 2 or 3 players. We're going to buy in some free transfers. And you know what? We're not in any Europe at all. So for me, I don't think there should be anyone saying, don't win it. All I'm saying is, if we win it, we're going to have a civil war because the Ange in fans will go at the Ange out fans. My issue has never been, can we win this Europa League with this run? My issue is Ange Postecoglou as a manager as a whole. So I won't care. People can come for me all they want. Doesn't change anything for me, but it's very important for the football club, which is more important than me, you, whoever.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Well, it's the attraction of Champions League that brings in the players, the coaches, the money. The money alone for it next season goes up again, doesn't it? Every year on year, since the inception of the Champions League, the prize money's gone up exponentially. It's gone up by something like 190% in 30 years from what I was reading on one website in prize money, 190% money. Like, you win at home, you get something like 3 million if you win a game, or if you draw it, you get like 1.5 million with the other club. You lose, you get nothing. I mean, the money in it's ridiculous.
Didn't Aston Villa, I don't know the exact numbers, but haven't Aston Villa for getting to the quarterfinals, haven't they just made something, I might be wrong, but I'm sure the figure I saw was like 82 million, something like that, just for getting to the quarters. I'm not sure.
But I read something as well saying that Arsenal qualifying for the knockouts, they earned more than we did getting to the final. So again, I don't know if that's true. But also, what you were saying there about like getting managers and bits and pieces, it factors into so much more. I don't think our players are fantastic, but even keeping James Maddison, keeping Vicario, keeping Van der Ven, keeping Porro, if we don't get Champions League and we finish, let's not kid it, they're better than a 17th place team in the Premier League. Like, let's not kid ourselves. So not only are we going to struggle to bring the next lot in, I think we'll struggle to keep our better players. Not saying that that's our standard, but I think we'll struggle to keep our better players, which then we just free fall again next season.
Oh, it's so important to win it for so many reasons. I've never ever seen a season before that hinges so much on winning it. Something, normally you'll go, oh, we're 5th, 6th. Okay, we didn't win a trophy, but we're in Europe, but we've got money coming in. I've not seen a season before where we're 16th, 17th and going, shit, we must win it. And that's why, I'll be honest, guys, it's slightly taken the edge off the trophy for me, because now it's no longer about what an incredible journey. I'll bring you in on this, Mark. It's no longer now about, oh my God, an incredible journey. It's now an absolute necessity, Mark. It's now an absolute necessity to win this trophy.
It is. It is. Like,
good morning, by the way.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Can I just say before...
Today, Mark.
Sorry?
You're looking sexy. I like
thank you. Thank you. The sun's out. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's lovely. And can I just say before I start, happy birthday to the mod father and Nigel Pure Coys.
Nigel Pure Coys.
Yes. Both of their birthdays today.
Lovely bloke. Lovely bloke is Nigel.
Yeah. I spent 2.5 hours on stream with him last night on our channel, mate. Like and stuff and all that stuff.
I joined your channel just as you were saying. And it's good night from me, good night from him. And then Daigle went and Levy out. And I was like, oh, I've missed it. I was there for 10 seconds.
Well, that's good. As long as you hit the like button,
Of course. Of course.
Like on the way out.
Yeah, But this season has been that much of a disaster. Like, I watched us play in the 90s and we were constantly mid-table. Mid-table. I went a lot in the 90s as well. I went a lot in the 90s and we were constantly mid-table. 10th, 12th. And the aims for the season was try and get Europe and beat Arsenal. But that was it. That was the goals for the season.
But here's a question for you, Mark. Let's see if let's test your knowledge, because I've actually got it on the screen behind me. Let's go the season that ended in 1990 through to the season that ended in 99. How many times in those seasons did Spurs finish in the top 10?
Ooh. We were always hanging about that, weren't we? Because 1990, the club was virtually bankrupt and we had to sell everybody.
It's actually going to be more than you think, by the way. It's going to be more than you think.
I was going to say, I haven't looked any. I was going to say 5, 6.
I was going to say.
But we were always, we were never like 4th or nothing. I remember that. We were always like 7th, 8th.
Well, 89-90, which I'm going to squeeze in there for obvious reasons. 89-90, we finished 3rd. Right? And then 91, we finished 10th. 92, 15th. 93, 8th. 94, 15th. 95, 7th. 96, 8th. And then we had 3 years of 10th, 14th, and 11th. So that was the 1990s.
Yeah, but that's 5. But it's like I said, we were always sort of that mid-table thing.
Yeah.
Try and get Europa. Because top 4 started by then, I don't think that. I'm not sure.
It used to be top 3, and then they made
whatever it was. Whatever it was. But like, it was like try and get a European place and beat Arsenal. That was the aims of the season. And Chelsea, maybe, but we never used to beat them back then. But that was the aims of the season. I mean, I can never... But all those numbers, I think the lowest was 14th or 15th?
15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lowest...
We were never 16th going on 17th. But we were never 16th going on 17th if we lose Sunday. It was never that bad. All right, there was some fairly dire times, but it was never this bad, ever.
Well, the highest we can climb, by the way, on when we play on Sunday, I can't even, do you know what? Since I stopped working in the city, I don't really know what day is what, because they're all the same to me. Like there's no Monday to Friday, I've got the weekend off, because the weekends is when it all happens. If we win, Here we go. If we win and other results go our way, this is embarrassing. We could end the weekend in 14th, depending on what Man U and Everton do. It's
Do we
mad,
get
isn't
open
it?
top bus parade?
Yeah, something like that. But look, again, it's just silly. It's Savva doesn't want us to lose. Savva wants the manager out regardless of win, lose or draw.
Mhm.
People have got to stop this because they go round to other channels, say that I've said these things, and then those YouTubers say it and everyone goes, oh, Savva said wants to lose. And I'm like, whoa, hang on. For me, guys, I can't reiterate enough. We've got to win. And I just saw a comment there which didn't make any sense. Keenor, the best scenario. Listen, you can talk about losing and have a clear out. Where are you getting the money to have a clear in? Where are you? I don't think people are understanding how important this is for Tottenham Hotspur financially, credibility, for attracting players, attracting managers. Now, when I'm saying that, I know Spurs don't attract world-class players, but even attracting the Maddisons, right, the Kulus, who I don't think these players are world-class in any way, shape or form, but you're not attracting them even. You're not going to attract them if you're not in Europe. Have a look at the clubs James Maddison signed for, right? Have a look at the club. Right now, the clubs that will go after James Maddison, there's going to be like 11 English clubs next year in Europe or something. 10 or 11. One of those will pick him up, right? Just using him as the example. So we've got to make sure that we do this for so many reasons. And I do think there's a lot of naive people, James. I think there's a lot of naive people right now with feelings over what needs to happen.
Yeah, like you're saying, even like the James Madisons, the Semedos, the Mbuemos, players like that, like they're gonna want Europe. At least they're gonna want Europe. So if you're not in Europe, unless you're offering them loads of money, I don't quite get why they would come. To be honest, Brentford, Bournemouth, they're all on there thereabouts. They could get Europe. So why would you come? Even the Fulhams and stuff, they're all going to be in Europe.
Yeah,
and wasn't it? I think it was in Europe this season, but was we out of it last season? We didn't have no Europe last season, did we?
So
that's 2 out of 3 years, no European football. So you can't even go, look, it's been a blip. They'll go, is it? You know, you've got to have something that's going to encourage people, or even if you're selling a project, you've got to kind of have something to sell. I'm surprised Bergvall signed when he did, to be honest, because unless they're being told something behind the scenes, like Ange is going, we're going to bring in X, Y, Z, this is what's going to happen. And Ange isn't stupid. He's probably said to the boys, look, this is my last like roll of the dice. So we need everyone on top. Let's make history together, or vice versa. So in that respect, to build this project, you need somebody that's going to come in and make it better than what it already is. And for that, for me personally, we have to win Europe. But what you said earlier about it's no longer of like, oh, can we win it? We have to win it. I was like that up until probably now. Now I'm actually like all aboard on the we're going to win a European final, not we have to win it. Like, I'm more excited for it now than I have been whole tournament, because maybe it's in touching reach, and I believe we've got the team to beat them. I don't think we've got the manager to win it, but I also think Frankfurt, barring that last minute sub where he went 5 at the back, I think that was all on the players doing that. So I think the players do want to win it.
Yeah, look, it could well be. But listen, I fully expect to go. I think we need to go there with a 3-goal lead. I do feel like it's all set up if we don't to have another very nervy night. Mark, you've just joined. What are you expecting from tonight? They're missing their best players. They're missing players through injury, suspension. They're not good away from home. Are you expecting Spurs to actually, I've seen a few of the Spurs players this week, Mark, talk about how disappointed they were themselves with the Liverpool game and how the fans deserve better. Are they actually going to show that to us tonight and come out from the off and be bang up for this game?
Well, they better do. They better do. Because let's face it, the whole season is riding on these 2 games. Right now, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust us if we won 7-0 tonight. You know, I'd still think, well, there is a chance that they might win 8-0 at their place. You know, it's the sort of stuff we do. But I see no reason tonight why we can't get. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet because we never do. But 4-1. 4-1. You know, there's no reason whatsoever that we can't. Because it's like you said, Man United beat them earlier. They've lost a lot. You know, all right, yes, they have beat some very good teams to get her. You know, Lazio, the Turkish team. You know, that they've beaten some really good teams, but they've also lost to a lot of average teams as well. Away from home. Away from home. Yeah, Karabakh they lost to. And we pumped them with 10 men. You know, so there's no reason whatsoever that we should.
Barrison Royale's here.
There's no reason whatsoever.
I've got some breaking team news that's either going to be correct or I'm going to be in the mud later.
Is it the Bergvall Sun news?
Yeah.
Oh, Barry.
You fraud. Get off.
What do you mean the
Barry?
Get off.
I literally was told like a minute ago. So
yeah, I was yeah, I've got it. I don't know if it's true.
9 minutes ago I was told.
What is this news? I haven't watched the whole stream.
So there's rumours coming out.
That's Sam, I don't have this. These two ain't been watching the show and they've just bombarded. Kick them both off. They're not committed to the show then.
Yeah, these two unbelievable. So basically,
unbelievable, Jeff.
There's lots of reports that that Bergvall and Son are out for the season. I don't know. I don't know. Son, I can almost believe because of the last 3 or 4 weeks. But Bergvall, surely that would come out of absolute nowhere. Let's talk
That's convenient, isn't it? He's only just signed a new contract.
He's
just signed a new contract on more money, and now it's like when you get a job and the second day you're there, you like throw a sickie in.
Give him a 2 week
on a Monday normally. On a Monday because you've been down the pub on a Sunday or something, you know.
Sorry, I know I meant to be starting my first day today, but last night my dog ate my homework type excuse.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing, isn't it? Or it's
the best one I ever got when I was a Townland. Ridiculous. I had an 18-year-old kid turn around and say that his mum grounded him. That's why he couldn't come to work. Literally.
Is everything at Poundland a pound? Is there anything cheaper or
anything?
No,
it's not. It's not.
No, I can't say it because I left the company 5 years ago, but there was a whole windfall thing they called it. They brought in, and everything changed overnight.
The drinks are dearer than that, and the reading glasses are about £2.50 or so. You can pick them up and try them on, and I can see with them they'll do.
I'm never going there then. I'm never going there.
No, it's not all a pound in there.
Couple of quick super chats. Big up to George, who said, help the channel get to 17.5K, please. Thank you, George. Always very generous to me. Yes, please help us get to 17.5. We're not far away. Haven't had a single subscriber today, though, which is poor. It's match day. Where is your generosity? We are closing in on 17.5K. We are flying.
Can I just say, we'll just take the half.
Okay. And all of you, please go and subscribe as well to the 2 Mark Show. And if one of my mods would put the 2 Mark Show link in the chat, that would be absolutely
I've already got it set up, Savva. I can do that.
Perfect. You do that. You're a mod.
Of course he can do that. Of course he can do that.
Of course.
Have I missed the happy birthdays as well?
Yeah. Can I do my super chats? Is there any chance I can do my super chats? These people pay me. Coming in here with your.
And I saved your life yesterday, so just you remember that, Savva.
You did save my life in a roundabout way. Yes, thank you, Nick. Yes, I'll be brutally honest with people. I needed to go and be sick whilst I was live on stream, and I was holding it in, and I could feel like I needed to throw up. And I messaged Nick and I went, "Any chance you could quickly come on, mate? I need to be sick." So Nick comes on. I go and throw up and then come back. Nick, and then we watched Yamin Yamal put on a masterclass, so that was good fun. Big up to George, and also big up to Terry O'Shea, who has said couldn't pull in Shagaloof. Yeah, of course he is talking about my friend who, when we were younger, could pull Every night we went out in the UK, he didn't have any problems. Every night we went out on holiday, he couldn't pull for toffee. Big up to you, Terry. Proper Spursy. Proper Spursy is that. Let's talk about it. Bergvall. Being told it's a suspected ankle injury. I think Bergvall's been all right. I'm not going to sit here and I think this is game changing. I don't mind. I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's been. I don't think it's game changing. It's not like, oh my God, this is our top goal scorer, or big up Stel, or this is our best centre half. But it would be another player if true. It would be another player that's got another injury. Do we believe it? First of all, how big a blow would it be?
I think there's a couple of things to it. I think I'll start with Son, just because why not? I think I'm not mad at Son being out and missing the last game of this. Obviously he was going to be out tonight, missing the final, and purely because I don't think it was fair what Pochettino did to Lucas Moura with Harry Kane, playing an unfit Harry Kane, and when Lucas Moura was firing. So in that respect, I'm not too bothered about Son being out. But Bergvall, the only thing I worry about is I think Bergvall's better on the ball than maybe Basuma, definitely better than Sarr, unless he's going to go Maddison and Kulu in the middle.
I think he'll do that, James, don't you? I think he'll do that at home.
Maybe, but that's brave. For me, that's brave, because you're taking away most of your defensive ability and you're going to leave probably Bentancur deep, and he's not exactly a natural deep kind of player. So that for me would be really, really brave.
But hang on, Jake, have we gone from the point where earlier this season our fans were trying to give Kulusevski a Ballon d'Or, and all of a sudden Kulusevski replacing Bergvall is now a downgrade? Like, is that how we've swung the pendulum in 6 months at Tottenham Hotspur?
Well, those, I can only speak for myself. I never said that about Kulu. I always said he was better out wide than he is in the middle because he's too slow on the ball, and everyone said, "Oh, you're an idiot." But for me, to play in midfield, you have to be able to see your pass before you even took in your touch. And for me, he takes a touch. I think it was in the last game, Spence overlapped, and what he did is he took another touch, and that overlap is redundant. So for me personally, I think he's more of a striker or a winger than he is a midfielder, because I think he's too sloppy, he's too slow. And that's why I didn't rate him up there when people were saying he's the best number 10 in the league and blah, blah, blah. I think that you have to have Sarr or Basuma in there helping Bentancur if you're going to go with James Maddison.
I'd probably give it to Basuma over Sarr, to be honest with you. Something more about Basuma.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, what talk about it, guys. What would we all do if there's no Bergvall? Listen, I'll put my stall early. I don't think it's this, oh my God, no Bergvall. I think he's been good. He doesn't score. He doesn't assist. I think he drives forward with the ball a lot. And for me, the hype about Bergvall is more about the future than what I'm actually seeing now.
He's been all right. He's been all right.
Let me come to you, Stel. Bergvall out? Is it? I'm not saying he is out. It's just rumours that we're hearing. Is it the be-all and end-all if he's out?
No, it's not the be-all or end-all, but I do think that's a bit of a loss, because he's actually been a player that's been a bit more consistent than the others. It's not the end of the world, no. But you're now asking players who've gone missing, like Basuma and Pape Sarr, to step up. Are they? When have they stepped up? That's the question. They haven't in big moments. So if he's out, look, at the end of the day, Bodo, Glimp are missing 3 top players. There could be no excuses if he's missing anyway for me. Bodo have got bigger issues than us, 6 players, even worse. Yeah. So
could it be
maybe, just maybe we can finally play Kulu and Maddison together, but he won't do it. I don't think.
Could it be a good thing? And could he play Basuma in a number 8 and not a number 6? Could that be a good thing? Because let's face it,
well, actually, he fell on his actual position. Yeah,
he fell on the scenario with playing Jed Spence left back. He fell on that. He didn't design that. He didn't create that. Could this be one of those things? couple of games before the final, he puts Basuma in at 8 and he kind of steps up to the plate. Could that be a tactical masterclass?
He could have done that all these games before he started playing Bergvall, James. I reckon if Bergvall's out, he'll go Maddison, Bentancur, Basuma, Osa. He'll do something like that.
Yeah.
So
So no
agree
one
with you.
thinks he's going to play Maddison and Kulu together.
I don't think he is, no.
At home to a team who are terrible away. We don't think we'll do it.
Unless
like
Kulu's,
so, wouldn't you? But
unless Kulu's in the front line, like right wing.
Yeah.
He won't play them both in midfield. He won't do it.
Well, we
by the
find
way, I don't know if he's injured, by the way.
we find out the team lineup in 8 hours' time. We can all speculate what he's going to do, but we'll actually know what's going on in like just under 8 hours' time, really, won't we?
Who said he's injured?
The same guy that keeps leaking all the injury news around before it gets announced has got it right so far to date, has now said that Son and Bergvall could be out for the season. I don't know. Still, it could be complete crap.
I'm going to put it this way. Sonny hasn't been really a miss this season. He's been non-existent the whole season, if you ask me.
well, to be honest, he may have been injured.
Right?
To be honest, he may have been injured for all this season. I mean, you look when Trippier was here, and we all used to have a go at him. But it turned out he was getting injections in his ankle every game.
Mm.
You know, you don't know with Sonny. He could have been carrying this injury for ages.
I'd rather Son than Tell. I'd rather.
Well,
Son
yeah,
than
exactly.
Me too.
And
Well,
Yeah, I'm going to have to leave then. I'm going to have to leave. Ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
You would rather Son than Tell.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way.
Okay,
James,
so
let me ask you a question.
What has
Let me
Tell
ask this-
done? Go on, Steph. Go on.
Let me ask this question. All right. Regardless of how bang average Son has been this season, if you get a situation where you're in on goal with the keeper, who do you want in on goal? Tell or Son?
Exactly.
Son,
And that's how I look at it. That's the only way I look at it.
But you're basing that on what? 2 years ago? Because you're not basing it on this season. Because the amount he's missed one-on-ones this season, you can't be basing it on this season.
I'm basing on how many goals Son's got this year.
Yeah, but he's also played 4 or 5 times the amount of minutes. So for me, what I would personally do is I'll probably go Richarlison up front, and I'd probably go Tell and Odegaard. And the only reason I'd go Tell over Son, if they were both fit, is regardless of his end product, he has always been able to get a shot off. He has beaten his man and then wasted the delivery. So he has beaten his man a few times. I'd say 95% of the season this season, Son's got the ball, turned back and cut back and gone back to the left back. I haven't seen him drive past his man. I haven't seen him beat his man. Haven't seen him really cut in and have a shot, barring maybe once or twice. So for me, this season, I'd probably play Tell.
Okay,
James,
so let me flip this.
Look at that shot Tell missed. Look at that shot Tell missed against
Forest.
yeah.
Forest.
Yeah, okay. Sonny
will at least hit the target, at least.
I disagree. Who is it where he got played in on 1-on-1 in goal, 6 yards out, centre of the goal, and he fluffed it wide? Son has done that
What about when
loads of times this season.
You know Mikey Moore this season? Mikey Moore. If you look at minutes played, Mikey Moore compared to Tell, Mikey Moore's got more goal creation, more assists that were missed by the finisher and goals. When you compare the two, he's ahead of Tell, Mikey Moore.
I would have gave Mikey Moore a shot a long time ago, though. I think it's brave to pick him up and jump him into a semi-finals when Tell has played a few games. That's the only reason I'm saying Tell. But everything that you're kind of saying about Tell missing chances and blah blah blah, Son has done nothing but that all season.
Hang on.
He scored more.
But he's played more.
Hang on.
I've done it for ratio.
Look at Tell's career. This is not a goal scorer. This guy is not a goal scorer. If you look at him, at no stage in his career has he been. Is he prolific? This is a guy. Yes, he's young, but are we truly saying? I need to get this.
20 goals in 82 games as a professional.
He doesn't create, Savva. He doesn't create either.
No.
Hang on, hang on. You're truly saying, James, it's the 90th minute. It's 1-0 to Bilbao in a final, right? Spurs break, bearing down on goal. You've got the choice of Sonny through on goal or Tell through on goal. You're truly telling me you want Tell to be that guy through on goal, not Son.
I mean, in those circumstances, I would probably pick Son. But if I'm being honest with myself,
I want an apology.
If I'm being honest though, he has not done that all season. Let's be honest. Like, we picked out the few chances that Tell missed. The amount of touches that Son's touched the ball and he's gone out for a throw, or the amount of times he's one-on-one with a defender and he's passed back, or the amount of times he has been put through and he's missed. I don't get why people are putting him on the pedestal this season. Like, all of a sudden, we're going back to Son 2 or 3 years ago.
Wait, hold on. Let's get it right. The bar is low here. We're comparing two low-grade performers. Son's been awful this year, but the question was, I would play Son ahead of Tell. Now, if you said ahead of Odobert, there might be an argument here. There might be an argument. But Tell, for me, I don't understand what he's doing at Spurs. I don't get it.
I get that. The only thing I would say is different between Son and Tell is Tell tries to play on the front foot, and Son hasn't done that all season. He's always looked to go back as soon as he gets the ball. Whether a Tell is good enough going forward or not, that remains to be seen. And I'm not here saying Tell's unbelievable and we should sign him and blah, 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 blah. I think he's a £15 million player. But what I'm saying is, even if he drives forwards and pins them back a little bit, I haven't seen Son do that for a couple of years. So
can I just say, Son is not a winger.
You've never seen Son do that. You've never seen Tell do that.
Son is not a winger. Let's get that in there. Never has been. Never will be. Son is an inside forward. You got to remember as well, this manager is playing him completely out of position. When have you ever seen Son on the wing in a successful, I say that in inverted commas, Tottenham team? When we were good.
In a Poch team, he did it. I don't think he's naturally, but I think he did.
He's not a winger. He's an inside forward. Which is
play off the back of the shoulder of a striker.
Well, of course he does.
Hold that half space between the.
All right. He may have lost half a yard. He may have lost half a yard of pace or a yard of pace these days, but like, he's not a winger. It's the same as Brennan Johnson. Everyone has to go at him. He's not a winger either.
Captain Tappin.
But he's not a winger.
Can I just say the thing is here as well? I keep seeing loads of videos in the last couple of weeks about Tell and his brilliant performances on the wing. The funny thing is, when you actually break it down and go and have a look at it, he doesn't actually get many crosses over. He doesn't actually get many key passes into the box. His accuracy of his crosses aren't good. His shooting is wayward. So I know, like, we go, the eye test, but I'm not seeing it with my eyes or the stats. If I look at the goals he scored this season, one hit him. He didn't even know it hit him, right? One was an outstretched boot against Villa when we were losing 2-0 in the last minute. And he scored a penalty. I don't know what anyone has seen in Tell to possibly say that's the guy we would trust over our 5th highest ever goal scorer at the club. I know it's immense this season, but he's still, surely Sonny would have to play over Tell. Okay, we get to the final, guys. We get to the final. Tell or Son, who's starting on the left wing?
Whoever played the semi-final for me.
Odobert.
So over your captain, the guy that's your 5th highest ever goal scorer, we're just dropping him for Europa League final.
Yeah, we did exactly what you're saying now with Harry Kane, and that backfired completely. Lucas Moura was on fire. We dropped him, bring Harry Kane in, and the same thing happened.
Hang on,
he was our tally man.
First of all, that's not exactly what I said at all. I didn't give any caveat to injuries. I just said who would you pick. And second of all, Tell is not on fire like Lucas Moura was. Please, let's stop. Everyone's got to stop pretending that Tell's actually done anything. Because I'm watching him going, I don't know what he does. Other people are going, Tell was brilliant. The problem is, guys, we're getting to this stage where if a winger picks up the ball and beats his man once, we're acting surprised as though, oh my God, he's brilliant.
And
I think
in my
standard
defence,
is so
though,
low.
in my defence, I'm not saying that he has been playing brilliant. I'm not saying. I said before. I said that I'd play Tell. I said his end product's crap, but at least he plays on the front foot. That is more so what I'm thinking. If someone plays on the front foot, your right back has to be mindful of, right, he's going to make that run. He's going to try and dribble. He's going to try to do something. For me, with Son this season, everything has been backwards. Every single thing has been backwards. So it's like I would
everything's been backwards.
I would say 95% of it. Yeah, I'd say 95% is. I think I would put Son in the Brennan Johnson category this season. Not as bad as Brennan Johnson, as in the respect that he does nothing, but he has good numbers, and so does Brennan Johnson. Does that mean we play Brennan Johnson over Odegaard? No, I've seen more driving runs and danger from Odegaard than I have from Brennan Johnson. So that's how I'm thinking. And I think with Richarlison in the box, almost like that fox in the box kind of player, I think that there's a lot more chance that a wayward cross would hit Richarlison if you've got Odegaard or Tell than Son.
Let me ask you this then. Last thing on this. What do you think Ange would do if he's got Son or Tell to choose from for the final?
Oh, he plays Son.
I would play Son all day.
I would say that I am no more than Ange, so I would play Tell. Ange doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, if you agree with Ange about who his team selection is, then I think that you should liquidate your channel, because Angepostecoglou's football knowledge is not very good. And if you're agreeing with him, then it needs to be questioned.
Okay, so
should Kinsky
play instead of Vicario?
Who?
Should Kinsky play instead of Vicario?
Wash your mouth out. Is what I would say.
But Ange's going to pick Vicario. So which one is it? Like, do you want his selections or not?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, guys, this whole Tell thing, honestly, has me baffled. Honestly, I keep seeing this praise. Not saying you, James.
I'm not praised. Yeah, I want to make that clear. I'm not praising him. He's crap.
As I said, the part of the sentence where I said "not you, James," right? I keep seeing this, guys. I want to talk about this. I don't know what people are seeing, because I watched him and Odegaard against Forest, and I thought Tell put in maybe 2 good balls. Bearing in mind, Spurs put in 51 crosses in the game. I remember 2 that were good. Porro, on the other hand, put in some brilliant crosses. Tell, for me, I think he flatters to deceive. I think he gets a lot of the football, but I think there's very little that comes of it. Am I being harsh?
Well, let's face it, he's only here. He is only here because Bayern Munich owes money for Kane. That's why he's here. It's to help them, and we might get a cheap player out of it. There's no forward thinking in the club whatsoever. Is he the answer? No. But he's going to be the 10 million. Well, put it this way: we never paid them 10 million, did we, for his loan fee?
They just took 10 million off, didn't they?
Well, it was just knocked off. It's just one of these. You owe us whatever they owe us for Kane. I don't know. But because I know they paid a chunk up front, didn't they? It was 100 million euros. They paid a chunk up front. So you can say, 20, 30 million up front. And then the rest staggered over the 5 years. So, it was a mutual thing between the two clubs. You owe us X.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have Young'un on loan here, Tao on loan, because he's not going to get a game with you. We'll give him a run out, see what he's like. But this is right up Daniel Levy's street. A cheap player that we can get for, the rumours are 50, but you can guarantee we're not going to be paying 50. He'll batter him down, won't he? He'll batter him down till about 40 or 30. But
what we should do is give Tell back and get Kane.
Well, yeah, but that's not happening, is it?
Have you not seen the rumours today about Kane?
No.
He wants to stay another season, doesn't he?
The Liverpool one. Was it Liverpool?
Liverpool, yeah.
Liverpool? I don't believe Harry Kane will come back to this club while Daniel Levy's here.
Of course he won't.
I will judge him. If Harry Kane rejoins Tottenham Hotspur, I will judge him, and anyone who's ever said he has no winning mentality is absolutely 100% correct. I'm sorry. You've spent all those years at Spurs. Take your Spurs hats off, gents, right? This is going to be one of them conversations where people get emotional because, it's Harry Kane and we're Spurs. If you are one of the world's best strikers, one of the world's best footballers, you don't leave Spurs and then come back 2 years later. You don't. If you're a winner.
I believe he loves the club. I believe he loves the club because he was here for a long time. But the way Mr. Levy screwed him over with the gentleman's agreement and all that, and whatever happened, none of us know. But he's not coming back. He's not coming as much as all of us would love him to walk back in the door. I'd question him if he did. I would as well. I would question him if he walked back in.
Savva,
my first question would be why?
Exactly.
Why?
Guys, can we get back onto Tell a second? Because this thing about him being cheaper is why we'd sign him. Our fan base needs to take a really, really long, hard look in the mirror and ask themselves, who are they? What is it you're supporting? Why are you a fan of Spurs? Why do you do it? Because we are 17th, 16th in the Premier League. It's an absolute disgrace, man. It's fucking diabolical. And all our eggs are in this Europa Cup basket. If that doesn't come through, right, we're in this mess partly because in the summer, when we finished 5th last year, and we said we only play one game a week, we've now got to play 4 competitions this season. We need to sign experienced players so that we can compete. And that's just to stay 5th. That's just to keep us where we are. We're going to play all these extra games. And we went and signed all these kids. And it hasn't quite worked. And then we went into the summer and we said, right, into January, we said, okay, we're in a mess. We're in a right mess. Go and sign some experience. Kinski, a kid. Tell, a kid. Danzo, a bit of experience. We've done it again. The same as the summer. Gray, kid. Bergvall, kid. Yang, kid. Odebert, kid. Solanke. A little bit of experience. We did it again in January. Are we seriously sitting here as a fan base? Are we seriously sitting here as a fan base and saying, it hasn't worked. It doesn't look good. Yes, we need a new manager, but we also need to start recruiting some experience. Are we seriously saying, let's go and spunk £40 million of the budget after they've told us there's not going to be much of a budget? Let's go and waste most of it on Tell, who has shown us absolutely nothing since he's been here. He's other than, but at least he goes forward. Mate, I go forward when I walk out the front door. And what? All right? Take a look in the mirror. Well, maybe I am going backwards, James. But this fan base has got to ask itself, what do you want? If you want to go forward as a club, this Tell, Yang, this type of nonsense has to stop. The academy's your youth. Develop them. Exactly. They're fucking there because that is the freebie. That is the youth that we've spent 8 years developing to the stage of where they're adults. Can they now be in the first team? Honestly, if we sign Tell and this fan base gets behind it, that to me says, you spoke about Harry Kane, Mark. That's why Kane left. Because even the fans don't have fucking ambition. Forget Levy, the fans don't have it. The fans, it's mental, man.
Still, how often do I say this, though? How often do I say this? First of all, before people have a pop at Daniel Levy, look inwards. I keep seeing, not all the people, I'm not going to generalize. People say things like, cool, I'd love Tell if we can get him for 25, 30. Why? Why? We've got young players coming through our academy. Why not coach them and use the 25, 30 million to go and find, for example, you could get, just an example. You can go and get, it's quite expensive, by the way, but somebody like Jonathan David, who's on a free, by the way, the word free needs to stop being thrown around like it's free. Jonathan David will set you back 25 million to 30 million in a transfer fee, even though he's free. That's bonuses, wages, sign-on fee, agent cost. If you said to me, 25 million, do I want that to go on Jonathan David joining Tottenham, who's a seasoned goal scorer, or I want it going on Jonathan David. And then the young winger, hello, my name's Mikey Moore. Hello, my name's Odeber. Hello, my name's Yang. We've got them. But we want to buy more. We've got fans that want to buy more of the same ilk.
We're talking about bringing in a winger. I've been a massive fan of Thiago Almada for nearly 5 years. The guy is in France at the moment after coming on loan from the MLS. Started his career in Argentina. The kid is on fire. You could probably pick him up around 20 million. The kid is really
Lubo,
good.
is your radio on?
No, I'm straight through. Why?
It's because he's playing it through the car speaker and it's relay. Look at Lubo. Look at him. He's driving to Bilbao already. He's on his way to Spain.
He's off.
He's on his way to pick up Bergvall to take him for his physiotherapy for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Going to go Archie Gray as well from college.
He's on his way to Bilbao.
What you was talking about, Savva, when I first come on here about the 90s, and all those average, we always had just one or two shining lights in the team, like a Ginola, your favourite player, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but we had those in the team. What player in the current team now gets you off your seats and says, go on then?
Not one.
None of them. None of them.
Not one.
None of them. That has gone. I mean, back before Ginola, we had Gaza, Hoddle when I was a kid. Absolutely fantastic. In basically, all right, we won cups, but bang average Tottenham teams. No, we didn't win leagues, but we had those one or two shining lights in the team. We got nobody now. It's just full of youngsters.
They don't have to be top quality either. And by that, I mean, I'm not saying that this player is the be all and end all, but Aaron Lennon used to get you off your seat.
Exactly.
And he wasn't exactly the great. He feels like he's going to beat his man. He's going to drive. He's going to get you off your seat. As in, like, something might happen. The only player I see potentially in our squad, and I say potentially very loosely, is someone like Odeber, where he tries to beat his man.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I've seen nothing to say he's going to get me off my seat. That's the only player. If I'm clutching at straws, maybe.
And Mikey Moore, if he was given his chance. Mikey Moore.
No, I haven't seen nothing from Mikey Moore.
He's too young. He's too young at the moment, but at least he can beat his man. You know,
but
the idea of a winger is
to have been getting the minutes that Waneri's got for Arsenal this season.
No, exactly.
That's what we should have been seeing. Because again, what we're expecting, I don't like this when I'm just going to say it. When I hear people say, I've not seen anything from Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore is a 17-year-old that should be getting 10 minutes here, 15 there, 10 minutes here, 15 there regularly, right? We shouldn't be banking on him being the main man. But that's different to buying a young winger in front of him and blocking his development. And that's what we keep doing. We keep doing it. And that for me is the bigger issue, is that Mikey Moore, for me, I'm not saying he should be a first-team starter, but this boy should be getting 15, 20 minutes at the end of every game, the way that Waneri has this year for Arsenal. And we should now be going, yeah, he's getting game time in his legs. He's learning, he's growing, he's adapting. We've just fucked him off. Mikey Moore's been completely fucked off, hasn't he? Because we would rather go and loan, pay 10 million for it.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I've got a problem with this club. That's where I've got a massive...
I'll give you another example. I'll give you another example, right? That what was the keeper's name?
Go. James needs to go, Mark. James, much love. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Big up, mate.
Thanks, boys. I've got to go back to work.
Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your holiday, mate.
It's not till next week. Can everyone stop saying that? It's making it worse. It's not till next Thursday.
Oh, all right.
Sitting in his work van. Like.
I'll be there with Ange and the boys.
Enjoy, mate. Enjoy your holiday.
Take care.
And we'll see you later.
No, right. See you later, James. Right, what I was saying, remember when that young was it Brandon Austin come in for that game and he was man of the match against someone.
Newcastle.
Yeah, the next day we signed Kinski.
I don't
Brandon
get that
Austin
one.
was given a new contract in the summer, right? He gets his first chance. He's like 25, 26 years old. And yet we signed Kinski.
Mark, if you speak to the academy coaches, they will tell you they really, really rate Brandon Austin. They think he's a very good goalkeeper. They're really happy with him when he went and played for England at a youth level. They're happy with him in the academy. They really do see him as the number 2. So
why do we buy Kinski?
I've got no idea.
It is mystifying. Honestly, all this mystifies me.
Well, there's a disconnect between the academy and the first team.
Yeah.
On the eyes, it looks like, there's a connection. There really isn't. If you speak to the academy director, he'll tell you a lot of the players aren't ready. If you speak to the coaches, they'll say, no, we think they're ready. If you speak to people who do the recruitment in the academy, they're mystified as to what is going on. So you've got academy director, recruitment officers, the coaches. They're not all on the same wavelength in what they think of the youth. They're not. But ultimately, the academy director will have the biggest say because he has the closest relationship with the first team manager. So
this is where it's mystifying. You got Brandon Austin and Mikey Moore. And when they've come in, they've done they've not been brilliant, but they've done well. Austin got man of the match, and Mikey Moore turned that Europa League game round. Because even Madison said in his interview after the game, we just give it to Mikey every time, and he was beating his man, and we won. Right? Where is their chance? Where is their chance to come in?
There is
the issue is people think, but Mikey Moore had his chance. He played against Crystal Palace when we lost 1-0, right? But here's the thing. If you're going to develop a young player, there's going to be a process where they have a really good game. Everyone gets excited. They play another game. That wasn't good. But then you've got to play them again. And then you get a little uplift or it gets worse. But then you've got to keep playing them. And after 8, 9, 10 games, consistently, you can begin to gauge, are they ready?
Yeah.
Have they shown enough? Because you can't just throw them into 1 or 2 games and say, right, judgment made. It took Spurs 8 years to decide to keep them as a scholar. That's when you get to 16 onwards, you become a scholar. It took Spurs 8 years to make that decision. And now we're going to decide their future in 2 games. It's mental.
It's not fair.
How long did it take for Harry Kane?
Well, exactly.
He went on.
He had more loans than anything else. And you look at who was I thinking? I was in my head just a minute ago. You look at Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale, when he joined, he was known as a bad luck omen. Every time we played, we lost. Harry Redknapp gets hold of him, says, no. You're not a left back anymore. Go and play on the wing. The rest is history. And we only bought him as a kid from Southampton. He was only, 17, 18 when he come in?
See, my biggest frustration with the academy players this season, and it's been my biggest argument, is if Spurs were 6th, 5th, 4th, knocking on the door of top 4 Europa Cup, I get the argument. Don't bring the youngsters through. Don't disrupt the apple cart. We're ticking along all right. If Spurs were putting in decent performances every single week, good defensive displays, good attacking displays, I'd say, do we really want to bring in the youngsters right now because we've got some momentum? We don't want to disrupt it. But when we're absolutely awful, we can't defend, we can't attack, there's no balance in midfield, and the players on the pitch just let you down every single week, why would you not give a kid a chance and say, can you do any better? Because if you remember, Arteta at Arsenal were broken. They were finished. And he said, I've got nothing to lose. Saka, Smith Rowe, Maitland-Niles, just play because the other lot can't do it. And then out of that, a star was born in Saka. Smith Rowe, okay, he went on to another club, so did Maitland Miles. But he gave it a go, partly because he had no more options. Whereas we're rubbish every week, and we're saying, yeah, more the same. Just keep these, yeah, you lot keep doing what you do. And then you've got the youngsters there that when they do get little moments in Europe or little snippets of football, they actually show a little something to at least deserve a crack at it. And that for me,
academy.
I have not understood that this season. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. None.
The academy kids coming up as well, still, you could add to the caveat that these kids know what it takes to play for Tottenham because they've been with us from a young age. They know about the history and the momentum of the club. They've been brought up in the education of the club, what it takes to be a Spurs
They give
player.
a shit. Tory boy, they care. They care.
Whereas this is what gets me with transfer after transfer after transfer. You're going to get some of these players that kind of understand what the club's about. But most of the players nowadays, I look at them as mercenaries. They come in, they take your wages, they either play or they don't. You're like Werner, 2 seasons on 165 grand a year. The guy was a Champions League winner a few seasons ago and actually looked like a good player. Now he's a former shadow of himself. Why is he still here? I digress back to the goalkeeping situation. We've got 7 first-team goalkeepers on the books. One's out on loan in Keighley, who's actually having a decent season. I was having this argument the other day with, not with Savva, but with somebody else. The kid's gone to League One. Well, you've got to go out and learn somewhere as a goalkeeper. You can't just sit in the reserve team. He was bought 2 seasons ago, Keighley, as the next big Irish goalkeeper coming through. And then with the whole Brandon Austin thing, you think about it, the only reason why some of these goalkeepers have been kept around is to fill the quota of the English player quota for not just Champions League, but the league. Has anyone ever seen Whiteman play for Tottenham, apart from a friendly?
No.
So why is he still on the books? Forced
Homegrown.
I have not seen
Homegrown allocation.
since that Roma game. Homegrown. But have we homegrown quota? It's the only reason why he's here.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Josh Keighley. I don't know if the Irish and Welsh FAs count towards the home quota or if they're classed as foreign players, but you got Josh Keighley coming up. Brandon Austin should be the number 2. He should be. Signing Kinksky was, we need a goalkeeper. No, you've got 6 others on the book still.
Yeah, but look, we can go back to this and I'll bring Lubo in a second. This is what we do. And Stel was absolutely bang on just now. The problem is we do it, and most fan bases would go, what are we doing? Right? The bigger clubs, their fan bases would go, what is this? Spurs fans, we go, let's sign Tel permanently. After 1 game against Liverpool, Kinski was better than Vicario. Like, that's what we do. We are the most reactive fan base in the world. We sign a player. We have everybody making videos as to why they sold third world hunger, right? And then when they're bad, straight away, they then go, but we didn't back the manager. And come on, we can all see we didn't need Kinski. Everyone at the time, surely we knew, well, why did we need another goalkeeper? You've got Austin, you've got Whiteman, you've got Keighley out on loan, you've got Luca Gunter, who I'm told is very, very well thought of. But this is what we do. We buy players and then people go, see, we're buying players. We've got no standards ourselves, I don't think. That's half the problem for me, Corey. We don't have standards. The Man United fans have been winning FA Cups, League Cups, Europa Leagues, whilst they've been going through their bad spell. They're not happy.
I wouldn't mind that bad spell.
Right.
Their bad spell's been since Alex Ferguson went.
But that's the difference, Mark. They're not happy. So their manager won the FA Cup last year. They were all going, get this clown out of our football club. Look how many we've got going, but if you win the Europa League, well, let's be fair, it's been a nice run. This manager's got to stay. He deserves it. It's like we just ignore everything, whether it's results, transfers, coaching appointments. Everything we do is second class. And yet everything we then do is call those people with standards negative. Yeah. Listen, as I say to people, and I know some of you tell me off for saying this, when I say to people that you've got the club you deserve, I mean it. Don't tell me on one hand that you're pissed off with the ownership and on the other hand tell me you want to go and sign the likes of Matisse Tell, Tyler Dibbling. I don't want more children. I don't want more children at the football club. Go and buy me some footballers.
Tottenham crash
Ran
Spurs.
over.
I'll tell you a true story now, right? I was in London last Thursday and Friday. I went and spent a day with Stel, Ben, and a few others at Ben's coffee shop. Now, I fancied a beer that night, as you do. And so I went to a pub near Tottenham. I got off at Northumberland Park, wandered down the road, side of the South Stand, up the high road to the booze where I went in. And you know, walking past that ground, if I didn't know it was Tottenham's ground, there was no, just one thing, what is the snack of choice this morning? It looks like biscuits.
This is a Rivita Thin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I approve of that. I can actually eat them as well, so I approve of
Not
that.
exciting in any way, shape, or form. It just fills a gap and it's nice and easy.
No.
As you were.
No. I approve of them. I can actually eat them as well, which is rare because normally you eat sweets. But anyway, I walked past Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If I didn't know that was White Hart Lane, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, whatever you want to call it, there was no evidence that that was a football ground. All I saw, Ben versus Eubank. Everywhere it was. Posters, stuff. Apart from the stuff that's scratched into the concrete on the side of the stadium, there was nothing to do with Tottenham. Absolutely nothing. And I thought, what is going on here? You know, there was no evidence that that was a football stadium whatsoever. This is the club we have become. It's an entertainment venue that a game of football breaks out every couple of weeks. That's all it is now. It's not built for football. It's built for all the rest of the stuff that goes on there. And it's just a coincidence that a game of football happens every couple of weeks. And that's all it is. And I witnessed that with my own eyes. I seen it. There was nothing to do with Tottenham. Ben versus Eubank. And that was it. And there was something to do with the NFL as well. There was nothing else to do with Tottenham. Nothing. And to me, that was shocking. Absolutely shocking. Like, because I remember going to the Old Lane. You could see the stuff about Tottenham. You know, this is White Hart Lane. You know, and I was shocked by it. I was absolutely shocked by it. But that's the way it is these days.
I don't know why anyone is shocked by it. He told us what he was doing.
But I saw it with my own eyes. Obviously, I don't go
know.
there a great deal. It's a long way for me to go.
He told us he was doing it. He's done it, and now everyone's up in arms about it.
It's not a million miles from me, but like, you know, it's far enough for me to go. But I just happened to be up there for a couple of days, you know.
The red flag should have been when Levy first come in and said, "I'm not here to make here for the football. I'm here to make money."
Well, we all know we said that.
No, absolutely. Let me bring in Lubo. He's not talked yet. Lubo, how are you, sir?
All good yourself?
I'm okay. And where have you been on this fine sunny morning?
Where I'm in Leicester.
I knew you were going to say Leicester.
Are you going to pick up Skip and Winks? Are they coming home? Is that on the midfield for next year?
And while you're on your way to Leicester, you might as well stop off and get Archie's brother and bring him down as well.
I'm bringing Vardy.
Now that's
Premier League proven striker.
Now that's the Daniel Levy signing, isn't it? Vardy on a free transfer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So Lubo, what's happening tonight? Bodo Glimt. What's happening?
What's that? Well, this is Bergvall fit. That's the question. I'm seeing rumours. I've heard nothing. There's nothing come out from Sky, has there? I don't think. It's all rumours on Twitter, isn't it? On social media about Bergvall out for the season.
Yeah, but it's the same guy that keeps getting it right this season, which is why everyone's worried.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even think it's a. I don't think it's the. If you need Bergvall to beat Bodo Glimt at home, then then we shouldn't be talking about winning trophies. Let's be brutally honest.
Well, he is probably our best midfield player. I'm not talking about the tens. He's better than Basuma, Sarr, and Bentancur for me. So for me, that would be a blow. What do you think of last night's football, eh? How good was that?
Oh yeah. We're talking different that's different level of football, isn't it? Watching. That's
Yeah.
why. So did you see those Barca youngsters play? And then when you're telling me that Bergvall could get into the Barcelona team, now do you see why we say he couldn't?
I said Barca were after him. I didn't say get in the first team. But
I'm just messing with you.
I was interested to hear what you said about Mikey Moore. I've been reading. There's a brand new account on Twitter called @Savva thfc, and he's saying that Lamel was watching. Has been watching Mikey Moore videos as his inspiration. Is that true? Can anyone throw some light on that?
I don't know. None of us have ever seen Mikey Moore play. This manager doesn't want to give him any minutes.
I've got to find out who this @Savva thfc account is.
It's definitely not me if there is an account. Do you know what?
His
by
cousins.
the way, let me just get you super chats.
Cousins with the mongrel.
Big up Joshua, who has said,
Don't
big
say-
up, gents. Seen a Yid compare Flick to Ange. Shake my head. Josh, I was watching the game last night and we were talking about it on my big up stream. And we were saying, everything you're seeing last night is what our fans that like Ange think Spurs do, right? But they don't. And Flick does it. I mean, I would say does it perfectly. Look, they're wide open at the back. But as a team with the ball, they're the best in the world for me. With the ball, they're the best in the world. At the back, they're going to leave it wide open. But, mate, it's mad. I mean, we've seen many people compared to many things. I've seen Bergvall compared to Pedri and Gavi. I've seen... I'm not even going to go there. But, yes, madness, Joshua. And thank you very much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. These people can't be helped, mate. And big up to Anthony Clark with his daily super sticker. Big up, Anthony. Much appreciated, my friend. I hope you are well. But look, guys, is anyone... I'm going to ask this question. I only want to go for another 10 minutes. Is anyone actually worried about tonight? And I mean, seriously.
No.
You know, we said this is a Bodo team that aren't good away. They are very bad away from home. They've won one away game in Europe in a year. Is anyone actually worried, or are we just saying we're worried because we're Spurs and we're used to Spursiness?
No.
Spurs.
No.
We ought to win 3 goals.
Okay, carry on, Ian.
No,
I'll jump
listen,
in.
I'm going to jump off in a sec. I'm outside of customers, but we should be winning this by 3-0. I'll be disappointed if we don't. Yeah, it's 5 of their team, not 6. I'm reading now that are missing, and I was also reading that.
Back.
That there was the administrative screw up at Bodo Glimt, and the players thought that the yellow cards would be wiped after the quarterfinal, and they didn't mean anything, and they got a shock when somebody came in and told them in the dressing room in Lazio after the match that the suspended boys were going to miss it. So it's sort of evidently it was a bit of a dampener on it. But listen, you can only play what's in front of you, and all being well, we should get a big enough lead today to take to Norway. And
I'm a little bit worried.
Just want to say one other thing before I dash off. Interesting listening to a conversation earlier today on Talk Sport, and Simon Jordan put it very eloquently when they were talking about would Ange be sacked after if he won the Europa League, and he said, Simon Jordan, if you win a trophy, it's like they were talking about West Ham. How have West Ham kicked on since winning the Conference League? Everybody will be expecting Spurs to kick on if we win that trophy. And you've got to have the right man there with the right system and tactics to take it on to the next level. And when you look at what Spurs have done this year in the league, it shows quite obviously that Ange is not the person. So, so all of those who say it's okay winning a cup competition in a competition with clubs that are at your level, because all the teams that are there were not quite good enough in their own respective leagues last season to make the Champions League. But then you go back into the Premiership next year, where you are playing against teams that are of a high level, and you're patently unfit for purpose. You've got to get rid of him. So in terms of just sort of rounding the circle for what you've been saying in the last 15, 20 minutes, the kids will have more opportunity. There'll be a new manager in. There'll hopefully be a new director of football. There'll be a new head of recruitment. and hopefully, if we can't get rid of these horrendous owners, at least there'll be proper football people in charge, and we'll be free of this nightmare that we're in at the moment. And that includes the kids as well, because if we don't get Europe next season, then I'm not so much worried about players like Graham Moore. What about the ones who aren't even in the club at the moment, like Devine, Donnelly, Abbott, Dorrington? There's loads. I think they've got about 14 kids out, 14 players out at the moment on loan. So let's see what happens. But I think, I think there are going to be more promising days ahead. Just got to keep that hope.
I bloody hope so, Lubo. I really hope so.
But it can't get any worse, can it?
It's been tough. It's been tough.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't remember the last time I enjoyed watching this team play. It's been very, very tough.
No, right. I believe Spurs will win easy tonight. Right now, now I know he's watching. He's sunbathing in his garden. This is for Cookie. We'll be having it large, mate. Having it large tonight. That's for you, mate. Right,
I think there's a bit of a trap that we're walking into here. I really do, because this Bodo Glimt team each round, I bet the oppositions that play them say similar things. We should beat them. We should beat them. My worry with Bodo Glimt, and I was saying it to Savva yesterday on his show that we did together, is that Bodo Glimt have got this really, they've got this knack of just about staying in the tie. They just about cling on to not have the game done and dusted. They've done it each round where they play really good at home but not so well away. But they just about do enough away to salvage it. And the last round was a good example. They've gone to Lazio. They're 2-0 down, which means it's 2-2 on aggregate. It goes into extra time. Lazio take the lead 3-2. Then they go down to 10 men, Bodo. So they're 3-0 down. They're crashing out of the competition. They're down to 10 men, and they find the goal. They find the goal to take it to penalties, and they just stay in the tie. And my worry tonight is this. And I'll repeat what I said on Savas, because I've not changed my mind on this. If we win 4 or 5-0, I think the tie's over. I think it's done. If it's a 3-1 or it's 3-0 to Spurs, 5 minutes to go, Bodo score a goal, that worries me, because they've just stayed in the tie now, because now they only need 2 goals at home. If Bodo find a way just to hang in the tie, even if it's a bit of a distant hanging in, that concerns me. It really does. And they've got a knack of doing it. So look, hopefully tonight we smash them 5-0. We call it a night, and we can book our tickets to the final. But I don't know, this Bodo team, they've got this manner about them. And
they're also missing all their best players. I feel like this isn't being taken into account. Their best player is Berg, by the way. He conducts the orchestra. He runs the show for them. He's not playing. You also said about them sticking in games. The other rounds they've played at home first, so they've had something to hang on to. I think looking at the evidence shows you this is not a good team away from home. They are not good away from home. They don't do well. We have got no excuses tonight. We have got to win this by 3-0, I reckon. 3-0 minimum.
Let me counter to that as well. 3 things. Number 1, they have 2 different strategies. If you look at the work rate and the way they press, at home, they go for it. At home, they come for you. They're really good at pressing, very efficient team as well. And they'll have all their better players back. On the road, they do drop deeper. So that their manager does have a tactic. That's the first thing. Secondly, their manager knows Ange. Like, he's done them before.
That is true.
They've got a manager that could make it very difficult for us tonight. That's the second thing. And the third thing is this. Bodo Glimt, right? They are a club, because I speak to Alexander, who's our favourite person in the comments, who always, if we say blue, he says red. But I love Alex. He comes on my shows. he knows Scandinavian football well, and he mentioned to me how Bodo Glimt they don't really focus on winning. That's not their mantra. Their mantra is about how they play. A bit like Ange, actually. They're very similar in that sense, but they're more. They've got a better method to it. So they're not coming tonight thinking we've got to win, we've got to win, we've got to win. They're coming tonight and think we've got our way. We know what we do. That's how we've got to do it. But they've got some tactical nous with it. I'm not saying they're going to come and shock us or stun us. Nothing like that. I fully expect us to win as well tonight. I do. I expect us to win 3-0, something like that. But this team have got something about them that could stun us. And my concern is, Savva, if they stay in the tie, I think everyone's going to not be as confident as what they are.
Tonight. I'm talking about tonight. When I've watched them play, everything goes through Berg. Berg not playing is huge for them.
It does. He's their main man. He's their main man.
And the other midfielders at Village, I might be butchering his name, and then Helmerson up top as well. Look, for me, I just think it's fallen nicely. I don't think we're amazing. I think this has fallen all very nicely for Spurs at the right time. For me, there should be no excuses. It's funny as well. What I'm noticing is all those in the chat that have been telling me I'm wrong about Ange and Spurs all year. Now I'm saying Spurs should batter Bodo. Suddenly, oh no, it's tough. Oh, don't underestimate. Hang on. You guys have been telling me how good Ange is all year. The one game I say that we should batter someone, and I'm wrong. These people makes me laugh. Look, guys,
what that makes me then after 2 years.
Huh?
Wonder what that makes me for 2 years and not liking Ange.
It makes me laugh. I've noticed this with all of it. It's the same people. Like there's Rob Piemonte. You get Matt who does it. Rees who does it. What they do is Ange is great. Spurs are great. Everything's amazing. In the games where I've said, do you know what? We should be winning this today 3-0 or 4-0 like Leicester at home. Their immediate response is, oh shit, Savva said we're going to win easily. No, but this is a difficult game. Because when we inevitably don't win those games, they then turn around and go, see, you were cocky. It's like, hang on, you've been bigging this manager up for years. You've all been telling me how good they are, right? You've been telling me how good Ange is, right? We've got a fully fit team tonight. Other than what we know about is what? Son is out and Dragusin, who's not going to play anyway. We've got a fully fit squad tonight to pick from. Right, we're at home against a team who are terrible on their travels, right? With their best players missing, there is zero excuse tonight. Sorry, I'm putting accountability where it should be tonight. There is zero excuse. No excuses. We have to win.
No, you're right. You're right. We should be winning this at home by a couple of goals minimum. We should. There's no excuses. You're right. With the home team,
I think potentially we can end the tie tonight.
I agree.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
4-1,
yeah.
4-1, 5-1. That's it. Game over. Well, I still wouldn't trust us going there, mine. But, personally, I'd like to see 7 or 8 in front.
There is going to be one game this season which we should be in, which is going to define define everything at Tottenham this year, and it's going to be the final. If we're not in the final, if we don't get through past Bodo Glimt over 2 legs, that is shambolic. I'm sorry. That is
there's something wrong.
For the size of the stadium, the amount of money spent, for the manager who has been here 2 years, there is no excuses, guys. He has got to win this. There's no excuses for this manager. Do we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better. I mean, apart from Frankfurt, who've we played to get this far?
Agreed. It's been nice. Nice.
Been easy, and with the Champions League teams like trickling down into the competition as well has made it easier for teams. You think about some of the teams, if they'd come down, they would have, overtaken the competition and got there.
Well, normally a Champions League team, when they get finished third and come into this, they normally win it anyway. It's not very often that It's not very often that one of the sort of Champions League. Here we go. Yes, we're on the revolution.
Sorry, just quickly. I've seen this. Read Ange's book. So someone sent this to me for a joke, right? And do you know what? I can't bring myself to read it, right? It says the man, the methods, and the mastery, right? By the way, Spurs are about to lose 20 plus games this season. And then on the
Mastery.
back, I kid you not, look at this. Look at the bit, an awesome force, an unbelievable coach, Joe Hart. Charlie Eccleshare, he is extremely talented, a visionary. I'm sorry. I've seen 2 years of this manager, and we're getting worse and worse and worse by the game. I'm not going to, read a book and you might learn something.
Sorry,
This
Chuck
is the
Barry has
problem
more
with-
vision than this guy.
Hang on, Corey. This is the problem with the Ange fans, right? I don't want to read a book. I don't want to learn what he's done at Celtic. I don't want to learn what he's done at Australia. Show me at my club. Coach at my club. Stop my club. Sorry, our club, because I know I'll get called up for saying ours, my. At the end of the day, I don't want to read about it. I want to see it. I want to see us coached and drilled every game. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Please make sure you are subscribing to Tottenham Away. Please make sure that you are subscribing as well to the 2 Mark Show. Show some love to people. And please subscribe to myself as we chase down the 17,500. You've been very tight today. We've had over 500 in for quite a lot of it and had 2 subscribers. So you guys, tight on the subs, tight on the likes as well. Not even 200 likes. Never mind. Match day. I'll see you tonight. I'll be live at 6:30, so just before the team news comes in. Please, 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 please join me then. Take care, everyone. And as always, hang on. Oh, big up to Tony, who's been a member for 20 months, has said Spurs 2, Bodo 2. If that happens, I'll be extremely, extremely embarrassed.
We're out.
Take care, everyone.
If that happens, we're out. If that happens, we're out.
I agree. And as always, come on, you Spurs.